Joining us now, Democratic Senator Gary Peters, who represents the battleground state of Michigan, the great state of Michigan. He's also the chair of the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. All right, you know Michigan well. Who is best suited to help Kamala Harris win Michigan?
Well, she has a lot to pick from. That's the great thing that Kamala has. She's got a bench of a lot of very strong Democrats that she's looking at. So that's a good position to be in. But I'll tell you one thing that's very important in Michigan, and that is the labor vote. You know, we're a big union state. And that has been a swing area for us. There are a lot of independents and unions. You can't just think that they're going to vote Democratic, and especially what we've seen in the last few years. So you have to have a very strong argument that you are the best to fight for labor issues. You know, I grew up in a labor household. My mother was the union steward for the SEIU, organized. My dad was in a union. My father-in-law is the UAW. We just had last year a big strike that the UAW had that garnered record wage increases and benefits. And actually, if you look at public opinion polls now, labor is at the highest it's been since 1963. But we need to seize that opportunity. And certainly folks in Michigan, particularly folks in union households or know someone in a union household, they want a candidate who's going to fight for the ability to collectively bargain, to raise wages. And we know that when unions do well, the entire country does well. In fact, I would argue that you can't have a strong and vibrant middle class unless you have a strong and vibrant union movement. And then when you look at not just Michigan, but also Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, that's an incredibly powerful message and issue. And people want to know you're going to be a champion for it.
You're doing a great preview of a segment we have a little bit later in the hour about union votes. President Biden walked the picket line with the UAW last year when they were on strike, and leading to that contract that you just talked about with the negotiated increases. Right. But the UAW hasn't yet endorsed Kamala Harris. What might they be holding out for? How does she reach them? She has been a point person on unions for the administration. She's been out there meeting with union leaders, meeting with union workers. She was in Wisconsin meeting with apprentices. She was here in New York meeting with, I think, service unions. She was also in Philly doing the same. She's been out there. So what are they waiting for?
You have to ask them what they're waiting for, but I think they want to make sure that they're having a conversation with her. You know, she's coming off the fact that Joe Biden, without question, was the most pro-union president we may have ever had. As you mentioned, he was out on the picket line. I was out on the picket lines as well, and I talked to UAW members and who are on those picket lines, and they really appreciated the fact that the president was out there, and he came out there being very authentic. It was about who he was. But ultimately, it's going to come down to a contrast, too. And if you look at Trump and you look at J.D. Vance, both of these guys are phonies when it comes to standing up for working people. You know, Donald Trump, when he came in to do his union event, when Joe Biden was walking the picket line, Trump did an event and he was at a non-union shop saying he's for labor, and yet he was at a non-union shop. People saw through that. J.D. Vance claims he's this guy from the Midwest with working people, but for him, it's just a photo op. He has not lifted his finger any way to help working people or to help folks in unions and in labor. People will see through that. Kamala, I'm confident, will be able to break through that. She's a very authentic person, high energy. She cares deeply about people. I know her well. She was my seatmate in the Senate. I sat next to her and got to know her as a friend, and more importantly, saw her passion, her energy, and how much she cares about folks that she's really blessed to be able to represent. So she is going to do an amazing job on the trail. She just has to be who she is. But she can never forget that message about standing up for working people and how important organized labor and unions are.
Yeah. Well,
that will pay off really well.
I'm going to jump the gun and take something I was going to use a little bit later, and I'll use it with you. There is an analysis in the New York Times about some Harvard research that shows that the complaints from white working class voters that they feel like they've been left behind, that others have been skipping ahead, are grounded in some fact. The Harvard researchers analyzed census and tax records covering 57 million children to look at people's ability to rise to the middle and upper classes, their mobility, over two recent generations. They found that it had improved among black people and deteriorated among poor white people. This is what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have been trying to seize on, that frustration, that anger, that resentment. And they've talked about J.D. Vance living in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. You've made your case about why you think J.D. Vance is a bad messenger for that he's inauthentic. Kamala Harris it's been said, would do well to park herself in those states also. Who does she need by her side? And I'd love for you to give me a name. I know you said she has a lot of great options, but do you have somebody in mind in particular? Because Gretchen Whitmer can deliver the state of Michigan. Or is it Josh Shapiro? Is it Andy Beshear? Who is best able to talk to voters in those 3 states?
Well, certainly our governor is great, although she's been very clear that she is not interested.
She's still being vetted, though, according to NBC News reporting. She's still being vetted.
Well, that's great. That is great. But it's all. We have a number of folks who are going to be very good in that. I don't want to. This is really a intensely personal decision for Kamala. It's got to be someone who she trusts, someone who she knows is going to fight. I mean, that's the thing about a VP. Whoever that VP candidate is. They're going to have to be out there fighting. They're going to have to expose the weaknesses of Trump and J.D. Vance, and particularly take J.D. Vance to task because he keeps claiming he's this Midwestern guy, despite the fact that he's never lifted a finger to help folks. And if you look at why, I'll go back to the labor argument, why people are falling back, especially middle class. It's directly correlated to the union membership. As union membership has gone down over the years, it's correlated to a middle class that shrinks. Money goes to the top. You look at look at the Trump tax cut. Who were the tax cut for? They were for the billionaires. They were for the rich, got huge tax cuts, and everyday folks got a pittance if absolutely nothing. And as unions lose their power to bargain effectively, and if they can't organize and they don't have the power because they aren't enough of them out there, you have a problem. You know, when unions have a big contract, when the UAW won this big contract, which was great, what you find is that other companies also start raising wages. When a union is successful, everybody is successful in that economy, and you have a middle class. So when you have candidates who are against things like the ability to collectively bargain, you don't see J.D. Vance supporting the PRO Act, which is incredibly important to unions. You don't see Trump supporting the PRO Act. These kinds of things are going to be incredibly important to help middle class folks bargain for better wages, for better benefits, and to retire with dignity. Those are hard fought victories. You know, my mom was a union steward. She organized that workplace. She said, you know, nothing worth having is available to you unless you fight for it. And she went out there and fought for it. She had her workers fighting. She was in a nursing home. These are nurses' aides that are overworked, underappreciated, underpaid. But when they came together collectively and were in a union, they all saw a pay raise. And we saw other nursing homes in the area also raised wages for their workers, too, because they said, well, how do we keep the union out? Maybe we should treat our workers better. That's how the middle class wins. A strong labor movement, unions helps the entire middle class. And that's something we can do in government. We can make sure they have the tools where people can come together and collectively bargain and win those organizing drives.
A clear majority of Americans supported what labor unions were trying to do on the picket line last year. Clear majority of Americans, and it led to a host of wins for labor unions. And in terms of the numbers and the wages being lifted in industries that are not unionized, because some unions end up lifting wages, the numbers do support that. Senator Gary Peters, thank you so much